Hello and welcome to today's podcast. I'm Garrett Otto, and today we'll be talking about the current state of U.S. soccer after their most recent results against Panama and Trinidad and Tobago. So to jump right in, quickly recap what happened in their most recent games. They first played Panama in Orlando, Florida, and they came out with a 4-0 victory, which was very much needed to keep their World Cup hope alive. Pulisic scored once, Josie Altidore scored twice, and then Bobby Wood scored a fourth time. Panama just really looked flat in that game, heavy-legged, didn't come out to play, and USA got that crucial 4-0 victory to push them up to third in the CONCACAF standings going into this game with Trinidad and Tobago. Game was in Trinidad, small crowd, there was issues with the field early on, and USA just come out and really did not look like themselves, did not play a good game. They ended up losing 2-0, or 2-1, excuse me. Omar Gonzalez had an own goal for the U.S. Alvin Jones had a goal in the 37th minute for Trinidad, and then Pulisic scored USA's only goal in the 47th minute, and that left the final 2-1. And due to Panama and Honduras upsetting Mexico and Costa Rica respectively, that pushed USA down to 5th in the CONCACAF hexagonal standings, which, as many people know, left them out of the World Cup. It's interesting when you look at the standings. USA's goal difference is actually +4, when Panama's is -1 and Honduras is -6. So while USA, you could say, was the better team on goal difference, they were not the better team with points, as they fell 1 point short of both teams, which left them out of the World Cup. So really in the past week, the fallout has kind of begun from missing the World Cup. This is the first time in the past 7 qualifiers, a lot of years, that the USA has been a lock for the World Cup. You know, they may not be the strongest international team, but just due to the group that they play in, everyone has really considered the USA to be a lock for the World Cup almost every year. And we're really seeing the reaction from that now that they've missed for the first time. Bruce Arena resigned 3 days ago. A lot of people were calling for the U.S. Soccer Federation's head man, the president, Sunil Gulati, for him to resign. He said he's not going to, but there is an election upcoming in February, so we'll see if someone can step forward and really replace him. But when you miss the World Cup and you lose to Trinidad and Tobago, easily the worst team in the hexagonal group, and meanwhile they drew with Honduras after a 86-minute goal just to draw. They almost lost to Honduras. They lost to Trinidad. Questions need to be asked, and questions need to be asked at all levels, not just the head coach, not just Bruce Arena, but really at the very top with the president, with Sunil Gulati, and what is happening with the U.S. Soccer Federation. Where are we going? You know, because when you miss the World Cup, it's not, well, pack your bags and try again next year. It's pack your bags and try again in 4 years. The U.S. men's national team will not play a meaningful game for another 2 years until World Cup qualifiers start for 2022, for the World Cup in Qatar. You think about that, the players that are going to be faded out in that time. Tim Howard, this was definitely his last time around the block with the World Cup. Everyone expecting the U.S. to make it, knew this was going to be his last ride. Josie Altidore, Clint Dempsey are getting old, and we need a new influx of youth talent. Christian Pulisic, obviously the main man, 19 years old, a superstar already, but where after that? Where is the talent coming from after him? And that's where people are calling for a total reboot of this system, with Sunil Gulati and just everything around him. There needs to be a plan set in place moving forward, because at this rate, if we miss this World Cup, there's no outlook to make the next World Cup, because all of our top talent is getting old, and we need someone to replace them in order to really come back for the next qualifiers and give a strong showing and show that we are still a country that can make it. So we'll kind of see where they go from here, but there's definitely going to be a lot of turnover. I think there's going to be just a lot of action going on within the U.S. Soccer Federation, and rightly so. So we'll see how it plays out. But definitely a lot of changes needed, and it'll be an interesting time to really see where the U.S. goes from here. Thanks for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you again soon.